All right, so we're going to start with a standing supported forward fold, and then I promise we will be, on the mat, well, not necessarily on the back, but down. So, and of course, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. So if you want to lay on your back and just hug your knees into your chest, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, if you can bring yourself up, and if you're near a bed or a chair, a couch, or if you can stack up some props, take the feet about shoulder distance apart, soften your knees, and then roll yourself down. Now, if you want, you can take the legs into a wide leg here, but you don't want it to be your widest ever, because we're not trying to get like a big crazy stretch. And then if you can be somewhere where you're able to stack your forearms and your forehead, that's really nice. If not, you want to at least stack up enough that your hairline can come down. So I've kind of got my bolsters set up right in front of my bed, so I can kind of play with how we're moving into that. So whatever works for you. Like I said, if you want to just stay on your mat and hug your knees into your chest, that's fine. Otherwise, feet shoulder distance or outer shoulder distance apart, folding over the bed, over the chair, or just stacking up cushions, bolsters, blocks. If you can stack the forearms, if you can get the forehead or the hairline down, and you can bend your knees a lot. So the full moon energy that we're in right now is cardinal earth. The earth element is the bones, it's the big muscles of the legs, it's the digestion, it's what connects us. It's the nourishing energy of the bones of the body. This is the first full moon after just coming out of the solstice into the new season. So taking this standing supported forward fold just as a way to really open up the back body, just as a way to really open up the muscles. And we don't want it to be, like I said, it doesn't need to be like a big crazy stretch. So you can bend the knees, you can bring the feet a little bit closer or further. Or if this is too much for you, then like I said, just come onto the back, hug your knees into your chest. And you can stay pretty still and just relax here if it feels appropriate to add a little bit of movement, rocking your hips a bit. And then once you're in a position you can slow down your breath, then please do so. Feel the feet, soften your knees, lengthen your spine. Let yourself arrive into your bones, into your body, into this full moon restorative practice. You're welcome to allow a couple sighs to escape out your lips. Maybe your sleep was great, maybe it was not so great. The full moon can do funny things to our sleep rhythm. See if you can let go wherever you are. Just a little bit more. Breathe a little bit deeper. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. And then slowly we'll step back onto the mat into our supported child's pose. So if you opted not to lay on the back, and for whatever reason child's pose isn't available for you too tonight, you can bring yourself on the back and hug the knees in. Otherwise, it's nice to pad the knees, bring a block or pillow or a couple pillows or bolsters down. Sit back on your heels and then come up and over the bolster. Really sinking into nice wide child's pose, or like I said, lying on the back with the knees to chest. But if child's pose is available, get another really great full moon pose. You can place your forehead down or turn one facial cheek down. support the knees. You can put a pillow between your heels and your bottom. So as much support as you comfortably can tonight. If you can stick a pillow or blanket underneath, then please go for it. Get really supported. Feel the hips and the back releasing. You can gently roll your head a little bit, letting the tension release from around the occipital ridge and the skull. Nice, slow breath. And just be mindful if in child's pose you've got your head turned to one side, just maybe turn the head every few breaths to just make sure the neck relaxes. Anytime you need to let out an exhale out the mouth. And this full moon connects to our roles, responsibilities, our relationship to authority and wisdom. It might bring up boundaries in our lives, boundaries we need to place, or perhaps boundaries we're ready to restructure. The yoga of this full moon is the opposition between this earth structure, full moon, and then the sun in the more emotional, nourishing, nurturing water energy. So between water and earth, between the nurturer and the disciplinarian. And as we know in yoga, it's about relationship. Can you be both nurturing in discipline? And for a lot of us, it does take discipline to nurture, right? Even showing up to the restorative practice, which is a nurturing practice, takes discipline. Eating the right foods, making appointments, taking care of ourselves. A few more slow breaths. Deep breath in. Hold a little bit at the top. And then side out. We'll transition into a twist over the bolster or pillows. So if you're in child's pose, roll yourself up. And then shift the body to sitting on the right side. So you can stack your knees with the right thigh forward or take the left leg behind the right. The right hip is down. And we're going to turn the chest towards the bolster, walking over the bolster. And you can turn your head towards the knees, towards the left, or for a deeper opening in the cervical spine, look away. Very gentle twist, just to help digest this full moon energy, still very grounding. If the knees are stacked, you can always put a blanket or a pillow between your knees, if that feels good. And just slow down the breath here, rinsing out. Every breath we settle closer to the earth. Let go a little more. Create space to receive the full moon wisdom. Deep breath in. Again, little pause at the top. And exhale, empty. And take your time. We're just going to switch sides. So if there's anything you want to do between sides, you can, or just lift up and over to side two. Just following the breath, following the bones. Deep breath in. And everything out. Slowly, slowly start to let. We'll transition into supported bridge. And bridge can simply be lying on the back with the knees bent, lifting the hips and putting a block or book or a firm pillow under your sacrum. If you have, more yoga props to play with, there's a couple ways to take full bridge. If you've got a couple bolsters, you can line them up lengthwise. And then you'll lay back over the top so that your head and shoulders come down, and then you can stretch the rest of the body out. So this can be really comfortable if you've got a couple bolsters or long cushions or even just really nice firm blankets you can fold up. Another alternative is to just have something at the bottom of the mat for the feet, and then if you wanted to lift the hips with a block or a book, and then you can just extend the legs on the support. And another alternative too, because there's always so many options in supported yoga practices, you could also take the legs up the bed or the wall and then put the support under your hips. So you're almost getting more of a supported shoulder stand or a supported legs up the wall. But either way, we're getting a nice heart opener with a mild inversion. So very balancing, very tonifying. Great for an earth full moon, but also a full moon in general, because it kind of balances out the heart opener and the inversion. So any version of the inversion, the heart opening inversion. And start to feel the skull softening towards the mat. Hopefully the shoulder blades are also resting towards the earth. And then maybe the feet are down or the feet are lifted. Just slow down your breath. Letting the nervous system catch up. Letting to reset. Restore. Deep breath in, pause, and let it go. Place your feet back on the mat if they're anywhere else. Really feel the feet pressing into the earth. Slowly roll your hips up, or if it's easier to roll to the side if you're on a pillow or something. Otherwise, once you remove the prop, slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. And you can either draw your knees into your chest or just roll over to the left side, the lunar side. And we will find our way to the seat one more time, coming into a seated supported forward fold. So if you would like to, you can take the legs wide. If that's not comfortable for you, you can bring the soles of the feet together. So soles of the feet together tends to be a little bit more supportive, and you can even add props under the thighs. So you can be in bound angle, or you can be in straddle. If you're in straddle, or even if you're in bound angle, it can be nice to sit up on a blanket or pillow, or even lean up against the wall so that we have the integrity of the spine and the low back. And the legs don't have to be overly engaged, just have the toes and the knees facing up. And then just like our other forward fold, you can begin to walk forward. And if you can bring some kind of support to catch your forehead, whether that's a bolster or maybe you've stacked up some pillows. If you have a chair in your space, and you can bring the chair kind of square it towards your hips, and you can come up and fold up and over. So sometimes it takes a little bit of engineering to get this set up. But if you're able to be in a place where you've got the sit bones down and the spine coming up and over with the forehead resting, it's really nice opening for the back body and very grounding. We want to relax the shoulders. The hands can be on the legs or forward or on the props. And just slowing down the breath. Turning towards the earth, back body shining open towards the full moon. Just letting yourself soften here, deep breath. You can adjust however you need to stay comfortable here for just a little bit longer. If you are by a wall and you feel like it's too much, you can just roll back and just lean into the wall and breathe there. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. See if you can let go a little bit more. And then gently roll yourself up really slow. Let the spine lift. If you need to move the support in the middle, you can. Just carefully draw your legs in. And then we'll come into Supta Baddha Konasana, to reclining bound angle. So if you have a block or a couple blocks, you can stack them behind and then take that bolster or heavy pillow or blanket or cushion, lie it back over the props. So it's got a nice little angle here so that when you sit down on the mat and roll back, we feel that really sweet opening in the heart, in the belly. It can be nice to add a pillow under the head. So you can come back to soles of the feet together. If you were just doing that for the last few minutes and you don't want to, you can just have the legs extended. But if you choose to have, well, actually really either way, if you have the soles of the feet together or the legs extended, put some support under the legs. So soles of the feet together, we want support under the thighs. If the legs are extended, then it's under the knees. So pillows, blankets, another bolster. Nice thing about using a bolster or something under the knees is that way if you wanted to extend or bring the feet together, it's kind of all set up. And then anything else you need here, if you want to put support under the arms, if you want to cover the eyes, the body, this is one of most people's favorite restorative, and a lot of other practices, if it's a full moon practice, they include this pose because it's just everything's open to receive and the body is really supported and grounded. So create that space, a lot of support, a lot of openness, and then just let go. Maybe the full moon is already up where you are, maybe not quite yet. She's probably coming up a bit late tonight because she's on the second day of the full moon. It was exact yesterday at 11:30. So the moon stays in a phase about 2.5 days. So still in it right now, but starting to slow down. Good time to restore and ground that energy. So make sure you're cozy, deep in your breath. You might imagine that full moon hovering above the crown or the third eye. As you settle your bones into the support of the earth, feeling the boundary of the mat and the props, and then able to just completely surrender and receive that deep nourishment from the structure. Letting everything else go here. you can stay here. Or you might extend the legs or roll to one side to lie on the side or the back for the last several minutes for Shavasana. No rush, nowhere to go, nothing to do. No right or wrong way to finish the full moon practice, just letting the body be where it can restore fully. The earth underneath you, the moon above you, everything in between, resting, grounding deeply. Feel the back body. It's heavy, supported and grounded by the earth, the props. Feel the front body, soft, spacious, luminous, opening towards the sky, the full moon. Feel how the breath moves through these layers of the body, balancing, integrating, restoring. Take a big breath in, fill your belly. Sweet little pause at the top at that full moon point. And then sigh out. You can let the breath deepen and start to expand into your fingers and your toes, bringing little movement. You might roll out your wrists and your ankles. Find a stretch or just roll to the left side, the lunar side. And then if and when you choose, you can come to sit, sitting tall. Place your hands at your heart or on your belly or on the thighs, any way that feels grounding for you. Reach your crown towards the sky, ground your sit bones into the earth. If you'd like to, we'll close with the sound of Om to seal the practice, or you can just listen or hum. Inhale. I bow to you. Thank you for sharing the practice with me tonight. Many blessings. Namaste.